Welcome to another edition of the Insider Gridiron Report. I'm Jarret Johnson. I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager. Red Raiders are off to a 2-0 start. Take on Arizona in Tucson, 9:30 Central Time Saturday. Huge game. Mighty Joe, that's one we'll start off with. What would a 3-0 start mean to the Red Raiders, obviously under the new coaching staff?
Yeah, it's better than the alternatives,
Right.
to say the very least. You know, the first two games were expected wins, you know, and
Right.
But everybody has kind of been pointing to Arizona as sort of the pivot game. It could be the difference between 7-5 or 6-6, 6-6, 5-7, or maybe even I don't know, better than that versus worse than that. Yeah, this is an important game. This is one that's kind of a toss-up sort of a deal, and you're on the road. You're against a legitimate opponent. You beat these guys, and you're feeling pretty good about the season.
Yeah.
You've got some confidence rolling into Oklahoma, which you desperately need in that sort of an environment, because it's easy to be very timid and scared playing against one of the very premier programs in the country in that terrible environment in Norman, Oklahoma. So yeah, you want to be feeling good about yourself going in there. You want that momentum, and if you beat Arizona, and let's say that you beat Arizona handily by a couple of touchdowns, maybe, you might actually be feeling pretty good about playing Oklahoma. You might actually have a chance of making that a competitive game. And if you lose, then you're just hanging on by for dear life when you go into that place, most likely. Win by a small margin, and you're still feeling okay. But either alternative is better than losing this game. You don't want to do it. It's really one I think you need to win to propel yourself to a pretty good season.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been the swing game, pivotal game for me since I saw the schedule release. Since we knew exactly what the schedule was going to be, and that's still the same now. In order to do so, in order for the Red Raiders to get out of Tucson with the win, they're going to have to limit what Khalil Tate does. I know that's probably a name that Red Raider fans have already heard a lot about. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's a very explosive player. I think, don't get me wrong, he is a good passer, but there's no doubt the Red Raiders are more concerned about what he can do with his legs. He's a very electric runner. And not only him, but I mean, they have a first-team All Pac-12 running back in J.J. Taylor in the backfield. Then they have another guy named Gary Brightwell, who he's averaging like 20 yards a carry or something stupid like that. I mean, he's only had a certain amount of carries, and one of those carries went for like 96 yards last week. So they can make Khalil Tate one-dimensional. They can corral him, keep him in the pocket, make him a pocket passer. He's still going to do some things. He's still going to be able to do some things with his arm, but he's just not as dangerous as he is when he's out of the pocket, moving the chains with his legs, getting those explosive plays with his legs. And then, like I said, Taylor, Brightwell, two very good running backs you have to corral as well. So that's the game plan. If they have success there, I think that's going to go a long way towards the Red Raiders pulling it off. They're getting some help, not necessarily in the running game, but on that side of the ball with the return of DeMarcus Fields. What kind of impact do you think that makes, having Fields come back?
Yeah, it's. I mean, he looked really good when he played this year.
Yeah.
So if you got Fields out there helping shut stuff down out there on the outside, and you control the ground game, then you're golden. So I think that he could make a really big difference. I don't have any idea whether he's going to start or not. I mean, coming back from an injury, but he's certainly he's got the starting talent, and him, McPherson has looked good. That's a couple of pretty good cornerbacks in there. So I think that helps Tech's odds.
I think DeMarcus has a very good chance of playing a lot. I don't know if he's going to start or not, but I heard he was practicing early in the week, so that's good. Let's flip over to the other side of the ball. Speaking of guys coming back, Jack Anderson coming back. He missed his first missed start of his career. He started all 26 games leading up to the game against UTEP, but he's expected back. He was practicing earlier in the week, and then Terrence Steele. The hope is that he makes his first start. He's expected to play at right tackle. He's been practicing more, but he's been out the first two games of the year. But he's supposed to come back. What kind of impact, obviously, having that whole returning right side of your line come back?
Yeah, it can't help but help. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And it's your two best offensive linemen probably coming into the season is what people thought. Bruffy's in that conversation too, and he's playing great right now. But yeah, so that's going to help. I mean, you got Steele coming in. If he's anywhere close to 100%, he goes in for a freshman. And nothing against Casey Verhulst. You know,
yeah.
he's done very well and has got a very, very bright future. But you're talking about a veteran senior versus a freshman. You know, so that's going to be an improvement. Jack Anderson should help you in the ground game, which
Yes.
you desperately need.
Yes.
You know, I mean, there just hadn't been any thought of there so far for the most part. So that's going to help as well. So it's gonna make a difference, and you know, you want to get that line sort of cohesive and developing together as a unit as you move along as well. I mean, you don't want to have to play musical chairs and, you know, playing the backups and this, and you like to have your top guys, your number one guys out there playing together, you know, hopefully for this entire game, just to kind of get them ready and in sync for Oklahoma as well. So I think it's pretty important.
Absolutely. All right, final thing is it's going to be feast or famine, or at least it has been for Arizona's secondary so far. And they're giving up 400 yards a game through the air. Now, they play Hawaii. Obviously, they throw on everybody, but Northern Arizona. And they did most of their damage late after Arizona already had a big lead, but still. I mean, I watched the Hawaii game. They weren't even close. There was guys running wide open in the secondary. So that's one hand. But on the other hand, they lead the nation with 6 interceptions. So, I mean, be careful there. You know, I mean, if the plays are going to be there, they run a lot of man, they bring a lot of pressure, like Coach Yost mentioned earlier in the week. There's going to be opportunities there for Bowman when they're there. He's got to hit them. He's missed some opportunities in the first 2 games. Don't get me wrong. I think he's played overall very well. He graded out as 91 after both weeks, according to Coach Yost, who knows a little bit more about quarterbacking than I do. So who am I to say he's been bad? But he has missed some opportunities. I mean, that's a fact. He's got to take advantage of those. He's got to connect on those and come away with big plays when they're presented, and somehow take care of the football, not turn it over. So that's the trick. But great opportunity for the Red Raiders to start the season 3-0. It's going to be on ESPN. It'll be the late night Pac-12 game. There'll be a lot of eyes watching. A really great opportunity for them to impress and really make an impression with Coach Wells. You know, I think it'll be a lot of people's first impression of the Red Raiders under Coach Wells across the country. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But Mighty Joe, great stuff from you as always. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.